think we can get started with our meeting today. All of the folks here should be participating in the CalHFA board meeting. Today's August 13th. Thank you, Mr. Gunning. I'll turn over the chair.
Awesome. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Happy Thursday. Hope everyone's well. Why don't we get started with the roll call?
All right. Ms. Avila Farias. Check your mic. Ms. Avila Farias.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2.
All right, we'll move on. Ms. Gallagher.
I'm here.
Ms. Gallagher here.
Yes.
Ms. Gunn for Dr. Mbasiani.
Teresa Gunn here.
Mr. Gunning. Mr. Gunning here. Mr. Hunter.
Here.
Mr. Hunter here. Ms. Johnson Hall. Ms. Johnson Hall is absent today. Treasurer Ma.
Here.
Treasurer Ma here. Director Velasquez. The director was having sound issues. Director, are you accessible yet? Okay. We'll check back with him. Secretary Castro Ramirez.
Good morning. Here.
Secretary is here. Mr. Prince.
Here.
Mr. Prince is here. Mr. Russell.
Present.
Mr. Russell is present. Ms. Sotelo. Ms. Sotelo, we aren't hearing you. Okay, Ms. Sotelo, we'll check back. We do have a quorum to begin the meeting, Mr. Gunning.
Awesome. Thank you, Melissa. I guess
Thank you.
Director Velasquez emailed or texted everyone, said he doesn't have audio, but he's here.
We're working on that with him, so hopefully we can get him in.
Great. Hey, has everyone had a chance to take a look at the minutes from the last board meeting, July 9th? If there are no corrections, additions, subtractions, let's deem them approved. I don't see anyone's hands up. All right. Well, with that, why don't we go ahead and move into comments? I think the thing that is the best news of the day, well, there's two good news facts of the day. One, of course, is the reappointment of Tia Boatman-Patterson for 5 more years as Executive Director at CalHFA. How about a round of applause? Yay, Tia. Good news there. But there's more good news. We have 3 board members who are also reappointed, Tina, Preston, and Delilah. So I don't see you. Do I see anyone? God, no one. They're not here. Well, congratulations to them as well. They were also confirmed last week. So the crew stays together. Much congratulations. And Tia, congratulations to you. I know that was a big thing and I know a relief, but we're pleased and excited about that. So with that, that's all I have. Tia, the floor is yours. Or the mic is yours, as they say. Find it.
Tia, you're self-muted. If you unmute yourself, we should be able to hear you.
It's this new, what are we using?
GoToWebinar. Yeah.
GoToWebinar, that's it. She's used to Zoom.
Mr. Gunning, this is Gail Miller. I just wanted to let you know that Department of Finance is here. We just weren't called in roll while we're waiting for Tia to get started. I'll be on camera in like half an hour.
Awesome. Thank you, Gail. Melissa, did you get that?
So, can you hear me?
Now we can.
I'm gonna have to log off of this webcam and then maybe call back in because this isn't working. So, Michael, if you want to just go ahead to the next item.
Sure.
And I'm gonna log out of my computer and call in. Okay, thank you.
Okay. With that, why don't we go ahead and move to item 4, which is discussion National Mortgage Settlement Housing Counseling Program. Kate, are you on? Kathy, sorry, Kathy. I see you there. Go ahead.
So I think that Courtney needs to, there we go.
There we go.
Hold on just one second.
Oh, and Claire too.
So, okay, so can you guys see my screen then?
Yes.
Okay. So good morning, Chair Gunning and members of the board. I am Kathy Phillips, Director of Marketing and Communications, and presenting with me is Claire Tariainen, CalHFA's General Counsel. We are here today to provide you information regarding the National Mortgage Settlement Funds and request your approval of Resolution 2015 to allocate $50 million of those funds for the purpose of providing housing counseling services to Californians struggling to pay their rent, mortgages, and living expenses. The governor's 2021 budget allocated $300 million to CalHFA from the National Mortgage Settlement Fund for the purpose of providing housing counseling services by HUD certified counselors to homeowners, former homeowners, or renters, and to provide mortgage assistance to qualified California households, including mortgage assistance for owners of residential properties with 1 to 4 units. Deployment of the NMS funds will take a phased approach. In phase 1, CalHFA chose to stand up housing counseling services first due to the overwhelming public need during this pandemic and because services could be made available to the public much more quickly. In phase 2, we will focus on mortgage assistance. CalHFA chose to make this phase 2, because at the moment, homeowners with federally backed mortgages and renters who live in those homes are protected from foreclosure and eviction. Additionally, many homeowners can request 180-day forbearance under the CARES Act and will be permitted an additional 180-day extension for a total of 360 days. Borrowers with privately owned mortgages may not be covered under these protections. However, many private banks are also offering similar forbearance and loan modification options. Even with these protections in place, we do understand the severity of the need, and CalHFA staff is currently working with partners and other state agencies to accelerate the research and collection of data on the public need for mortgage assistance in order to stand up this phase as quickly as possible. While the housing counseling services will be made available to assist all California families, the program was designed to ensure these vital services reach the disadvantaged, underserved, and ethnically diverse communities who need them most. Additionally, the program is designed to not only help those in need of counseling services now, but also to help solidify and strengthen California's housing counseling network so that it can continue to provide these vital services long after the NMS funds have been depleted. The CalHFA team held many in-depth interviews and calls with housing counseling professionals and officials over the course of developing the program. We had frank conversations about what works well and what the barriers are to providing counseling services. There were 3 requests that were constant across much of our discussions. First, the NMS program should provide upfront funds to help the state's counseling capacity. Many counseling agencies we spoke to reported up to a 1-year delinquent payment from the federal grants that they received for services they've already provided. Many of them are lacking technology improvements that are vital, especially at a time like this when video and virtual meetings are necessary. Second, the grant program should provide adequate compensation. Past grant programs have grossly underfunded the cost of actual services provided. Our research indicates that costs of services can range from $600 to $1,800, depending on the complexity and the time spent with each client. And finally, a request to use consistent and efficient reporting structures that are already in place instead of requiring new methods of reporting. This is so they can concentrate time and money on services and outreach instead of developing new reporting structures which add unnecessary time and cost. So real quick, I just wanted to give you a look at who the parties are in this program and what they are responsible for. CalHFA will administer the National Mortgage Settlement Funds. The intermediaries are officially approved by HUD to provide oversight of counseling services, compliance monitoring, as well as invoicing and reporting to CalHFA. The HUD counseling agencies are certified by HUD to provide housing counseling services to the public. CalHFA sent out application requests to all 17 HUD intermediaries who have a presence in California. A few key selection considerations we looked at for selecting intermediaries were a demonstrated ability to reach the disadvantaged, underserved, and diverse communities, ensuring that they had financial and organizational capacity to provide the required services, and a solid plan for capacity building and forging partnerships. We received a total of 9 applications and will be selecting 4 applicants. Upon the completion of our assessment and evaluation, we will announce our selection on Monday, August 17th. These choices will be contingent upon contract execution of an intermediary services agreement between CalHFA and the selected intermediaries. So CalHFA will allocate $50 million through HUD-approved intermediaries down to their network of housing counseling agencies located in California. With this funding level, we expect to provide counseling services for 30,000 to 40,000 households. In alignment with our research findings, the program will provide a portion of the allocation upfront for program-related support, marketing, and capacity building for items such as technical upgrades and staffing needs. 25% of the program funds will be available to support these items as follows. 10% will be allocated to the intermediaries for oversight and compliance. And of that 10%, 30% will be provided upfront to them, and the remainder, 70%, will be paid quarterly in equal payments through December 2022. 15% will go to the housing counseling agencies, paid upfront for capacity building, program-related support, and marketing. Finally, another key program term from our research will be adequate compensation. The program will provide counseling agencies $750 for a client's first one-on-one personalized session. An additional $750 will be available if that same client returns for more counseling or a session that is more in-depth, like loan modification, that can take weeks to complete. And last but definitely not least, in my opinion, CalHFA will be standing up a targeted marketing campaign in which the counseling agencies can partner with us to increase the program's outreach. The marketing efforts for this program from CalHFA and the counseling agencies will be vital if we truly want to get the services to the underserved and those hardest to reach. CalHFA's campaign will use our partner agencies like BCSH, HCD, EDD, and DFEH, a lot of acronyms, sorry, to help amplify the availability of the program. We are currently developing a focused media campaign in partnership with established and successful media firms who specialize in their targeted demographics to reach Black, Latinx, Asian, Native American, and low-income Californians. The campaign will use various methods of outreach, including targeted in-language TV spots, radio and print ads, faith-based organizations, as well as social media. And we will participate in in-person events should public gatherings become possible again. So in closing, we'd like to answer any of your questions that you may have and also request your approval of the program as presented and detailed in the board staff report and the resolution 2015 located in your board package. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Kathy. Questions, board members, thoughts, comments? Madam Treasurer.
Thank you. I think this is a very exciting program. As you know, people want to become homeowners, but they don't necessarily know how to become homeowners. And we also are going to be embarking on a financial literacy program, aggressively targeting not only junior high, high school, but also first-time homeowners. And so if there's any way that we can collaborate with these folks, just teaching them the basics. We did a student training earlier this year for about 25 students from the age of 14 to 24 years old, and their parents also came, and the parents said that they got something out of it because nobody ever taught them about all of the intricacies about like their credit rating, right? And setting a budget and a plan. So I'm very excited about this, and anything we can do to help, let us know.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
This is Lourdes. Good morning, everyone. And I just wanted to build on the comments from Treasurer Ma that yes, this is very exciting. I'm so pleased to see how quickly CalHFA has been able to move this initiative forward. I think we all know that many Californians are facing fear and uncertainty currently with their basically inability to be able to pay their mortgage or rent or avoid foreclosure. And unfortunately, as we all know, this issue is hitting the Black and Latino communities the hardest, or communities of color. And so I'm very pleased, in the presentation to see that there's a focus on underserved communities and communities that, tend to be overlooked or left behind. Under the leadership of, Governor Newsom and his administration, we as state agencies are working nonstop. In fact, for the last few weeks, we've been on, daily, if not more than, 2 or 3 times a day, communications on identifying solutions to protect tenants and property owners. Of course, we were very displeased with the fact that the federal government did not extend the supplemental unemployment insurance. And we know that this is going to have a devastating impact on families all across the state. So CalHFA's efforts to stand up this counseling program now and taking these steps immediately, I think will be very important and welcomed. I'm also, pleased to see that there's a second component, to the beyond the housing counseling. There's a second component that's focused on providing mortgage assistance. And as I understand it from speaking with Tia, there's also an opportunity to extend this support to small landlords. So I really look forward, to seeing how that, unfolds. And, this morning, I'll just, sort of end my comments with, this morning in the LA Times, there's an article that is focused on the disproportionate impact that COVID-19 is having and this sort of economic crisis on the Latino community and communities of color, particularly in the Central Valley. Earlier in the week, the governor also shared some data with us that was, just very sobering and another reason for us to double down on our efforts. He basically said that 3 out of every 4 renters that are not able to meet their rent are either Latino or Black. And, that is who's impacted. And so accelerating our efforts and doing everything that we can to protect these individuals and families and members of our community is critically important. So I just want to thank Tia and the entire CalHFA staff and team, and of course you all as colleagues and board members for your continued effort and focus on this space. Thank you. And with that, I'd like to make a motion that we approve.
Awesome. Thank you, Secretary Castro Ramirez. Is there a second?
Teresa Gunn seconds. And I'd like to take a moment and just echo Treasurer Ma and Secretary Castro's remarks. As Ms. Ma said, we're finding many individuals need additional financial counseling and assistance and education. Veterans are right there in that boat. Oftentimes they sign up when they're 17, 18. Uncle Sam takes great care of them, but they don't learn the education on managing finances and things of that nature. So this is a fantastic program, and I'm excited about it. Thank you much.
Awesome. Thank you, Teresa. Hey, Courtney's asked if, and I'm trying to catch everyone, but the hand feature, if you do want to say something, put the hand up. Although, Steve, I think me and you were both looking for the hand feature. I think we just do this one, huh?
I have this. Yeah, I have 2.
You got 2 hands, I know, right?
Yeah. No, thank you. I
Michael,
think.
can I give a special shout out to staff on this, because there's actually some staff that I would like to actually call out by name because they were just critically instrumental in this. So I'd like to acknowledge Kathy Phillips and Claire Tariainen, Rebecca Jenkins, Ashley Garner, Eric Johnson, Oksana Glaschko, Erica Cruz, Tom Nan, Gail Tatiama, and our student assistants, Kaylin Carter. They literally put in double time. They worked long hours to ensure that we can get this accelerated and to help the people most in need. So I really want to give a shout out to those staff.
Awesome. Thank you, Tia. Stephen, did you have a comment? Mr. Russell?
Yeah, a comment and a question, if I may. So I guess one is, I'm thoroughly supportive of this. This is essential that folks are going to need during this time. I think it's especially important that we make sure that we do have available legal services. I see that that's a part of an additional component because we know that tenants and homeowners who are represented with who have legal representation have much better outcomes. That almost, especially with tenants, I'm more familiar with, but it's absolutely critical. It's night and day between what it means to have someone speaking on your behalf. So I just want to make sure that we're providing sufficient resource there. And I guess I'd like to know what we think this is 30 or 40,000 households we're talking about. How big is the universe that we're ultimately trying to address here? I just want to have a sense of scale. Do we know that, what we might expect? 30 or 40,000, half the families will be suffering these difficulties, or is there any way of knowing?
Well, I think that's some of the deeper dive that we're trying to take and trying to assess why we rolled this out as phase 1. That is data that we're all trying to collect because we know there were several folks that are covered, their mortgages are covered by the CARES Act. So we really want to target and get a deeper dive into those mortgages that weren't covered under the CARES Act. So those are the non-federally backed mortgages. And so we do know who that universe is, but we don't know how many there are. And so as part of this first phase, we'll be working with all of the stakeholders to take a deeper dive into getting that number and drilling down. We also know from the Turner Center that it's concentrated in pretty much 10 counties. And so making sure that we're working hand in glove with those counties in which we see the early signs of default, et cetera.
Great. Well, then I'll just say thank you to Tia and your staff for bringing this forward, for being so nimble with this, and I will certainly be supporting the motion when we come to a vote.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Russell. I see Eileen, your turn. You're up.
Hi, sorry, couldn't find the other feature. I just had a question on this. I noticed not long ago we just wound down the Keep Your Home California program from the last recession, and I'm just curious as to how this is different, how it's the same, and how much we're able to leverage the sort of lessons learned from that last program.
Well, this first part is going to be going for counseling and services and coordination for marketing and targeting campaigns. The mortgage assistance, which we plan to roll out in the second phase after we've drilled down and gotten more detail and data. There may be some components of the Keep Your Home California program and the lessons learned to help us stand up the mortgage assistance program more quickly. So we do have a whole list of lessons learned that we do have from the Keep Your Home California. And in phase 2, as we stand up the mortgage assistance, we'll be relying on those lessons learned.
Good question. Thanks, Eileen. Is there a follow-up?
Michael?
Hi, Jonathan. Go ahead.
Yeah, just a couple of things. One is I can't figure out where that raised hand feature is. And having to learn 5 different online meeting platforms at the same time is driving this old guy nuts. But the one thing I wanted to comment on in terms of incredible timing, I'm a volunteer as a board member of a nonprofit housing developer that develops a lot of deeply affordable housing, and particularly in Southern California. And yesterday we spent a lot of time looking at rent results, and there's a clear pattern happening as the elimination of the add-on of unemployment in terms of rent defaults has started going up in June and escalated, and the 1st of August now is creating real problems. And obviously, that's going to, as this economic crisis, particularly as so many have said, is deeply impacting communities of color, this trend is going to continue. Which, for me, reason I raised that, I think the component of this program that allows specifically for working on loan modifications is going to be really critical once protections start getting lifted and people have back mortgage payments out the wazoo, and figuring out getting really qualified assistance to know how to modify their loans so that they don't lose the homes that they already have. I just think I expect that in 2021, that's going to be a key focus of this work.
Awesome. Thank you, Jonathan. Melissa has informed me there's a member of the public, I think, that wants to speak. Do we know their name, Melissa, or is...
Yes. Courtney, could you go ahead and announce the member of the public that'd like to speak?
That would be Faith Bautista, and you are unmuted. If you unmute yourself, you'll be able to address the board. There we go.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm Faith Bautista. I'm the CEO of the National Asian American Coalition. We're just very happy among all the plaintiffs and the homeowners that fought for this for the last 7 years to make sure that the money goes to the homeowners in distress. And I just want to know how pleased I am that CalHFA is the one that administering the 300 million. Want to give a shout out to Tia and Claire and the marketing team, Kathy. I admire that when we talk to them, they're like, you're talking to the homeowners, you're talking to the counselors. So I'm just thank you for all of that. From the very beginning, when all of this happening, I mentioned how CalHFA is a great agency to help the homeowners in distress, the renters. So thank you for that. And of course, we're never enough of what we're doing. We can always do more. And I'm just encouraging that with this crisis, with the OCC that has a program called REACH, REACH, with the CRA reform. As you know, the CRA reform has been been modernized under OCC, and that's mostly 75% of the bank assets in United States and California. A lot of them are here. I'm encouraging that CalHFA leverage the CRA, leverage the modernization of it, and make the banks be more responsible. And I believe that they are here to help us. When we have this money, I think this money should be here for a long, long time, and using, the big businesses like Apple, that I know CalHFA is also using. We should be able to raise, make this $1 billion with this 30,000 to 40,000 household. We know this is gonna be just not a lot of people that we're helping, right? I mean, with the 40 million population here in California and the hard to reach. Sorry with that noise. We can do more. So just more encouragement to leverage the big businesses, leverage the big banks, and using the HUD-approved counseling agency that right now are grossly underfunded. So thank you so much. But I just have a question on the counseling. I heard one-on-one is $750 and an additional counseling. Did I hear another $500?
No, it was $750 for the first counseling service, and then an additional $750 should that client come back for a second session. And so there's a $1,500 per household max.
Bravo. Thank you for recognizing the work of HUD-approved counselors. The counselors, they're not just counseling in their home loans, but you're counseling them from divorce, you're counseling them from the debt, from the sickness, before you really get into what they need help. So thank you for that $1,500. Thank you. Thank you, guys. God bless you all.
Thank you, Ms. Batista. Appreciate your comments. Okay, any more comments from board members or questions from board members? All right, there's been a motion and a second. How about a roll call vote, Melissa?
Okay, just checking in to see Ms. Avila Farias has arrived. Not hearing her, no. Ms. Gallagher?
Aye.
Ms. Gallagher, aye. Ms. Gunn?
Aye.
Ms. Gunn, aye. Mr. Gunning?
Aye.
Mr. Gunning, aye. Mr. Hunter?
Aye.
Mr. Hunter, aye. Treasurer Ma?
Aye.
Treasurer Ma, aye. Director Velasquez?
Aye.
Director, aye. Secretary Castro Ramirez?
Aye.
Secretary, aye. Mr. Prince?
Yes.
Mr. Prince, yes. Mr. Russell?
Aye.
Mr. Russell, aye. And Ms. Sotelo?
Aye.
Ms. Sotelo, aye. And with that, we have passed resolution 12-15. And also, Chairman, I also want to acknowledge that Ms. Campbell is here for Director Gordon from OPR as well. Thank you.
And Melissa, you got finance as well, right? Gail?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Thank you. I got Ms. Gail Miller. Thank you.
Great, perfect. Awesome, thank you. Moving on to item number 5 regarding the ED's lending authorities. This is gonna be Kate. Are you gonna present this
Yes,
first?
sir.
Okay.
There you go. Can you hear me?
We can see and hear you well.
Wow, that's amazing. I can't believe I did it. Good morning, Chair Gunning and members of the board. My name is Kate Ferguson, and I'm the Director of Multifamily Programs. In your board packet today, in your board packet that you received earlier this week, is a memo from me related to Resolution 20-16 recommending an increase to the Executive Director's delegated approval authority for loans. By way of background, I'm sorry, is that me?
Okay. By way of background, I brought this item for discussion at the July 9th, 2020 meeting, and I have included a synopsis of those discussions in the memo. The last time that the Delegated Approval Authority was considered and established was at the November 8th, 2001 Board of Directors meeting, when Resolution 01-37 was approved, delegating authority to the Executive Director to approve CalHFA financing for multi-family projects with aggregate loan amounts totaling less than $4 million, defined as small projects. No changes to the Delegated Approval Authority have been made since that time, and 19 years has passed. And as previously discussed, the makeup of our multifamily programs and our portfolio have changed significantly over the past 19 years. We no longer offer a small loan program, and our primary source of business going forward will be long-term permanent first lien loans, which are much larger and more complex. Based on the feedback from the board that we received in the July 9th meeting, we are proposing an increase to the Executive Director's Delegated Approval Authority for multifamily loans from $4 million to $15 million. I'm happy to take any questions that the board might have.
All right, thank you, Kate. Any comments, questions, or additional comments? Mr. Russell.
Yeah, I just want to say I think we had a really robust discussion last meeting about this. I appreciate the summary of all that, and so I would, without further comment, move the resolution, and thank staff for listening so closely to the discussion that we had last time. Thank you.
Who's second? Was that you, Preston?
It was. Sorry, Stephen. Yes, and I agree with his thinking, his appreciation.
It's been moved and seconded. Other comments? Eileen, did I see your hand up, or are you just watching?
No.
Anyone else? All right. Roll call vote, please, Melissa.
Okay, Ms. Gallagher?
Aye.
Ms. Gallagher, aye. Ms. Gunn?
Aye.
Ms. Gunn, aye. Mr. Gunning?
Aye.
Mr. Gunning, aye. Mr. Hunter?
Aye.
Mr. Hunter, aye. Treasurer Ma? So do we have Treasurer Ma still participating? All right. I do not. One more time, Treasurer Ma, are you still there?
We can come back to her.
Okay. Director Velasquez?
Aye.
Director, aye. Secretary Castro Ramirez?
Aye.
Secretary, aye. Mr. Prince?
Aye. Sorry, I had to make sure I was unmuted.
Thank you,
Yes.
Mr. Prince, aye. Mr. Russell?
Aye.
Mr. Russell, aye. Ms. Sotelo?
Aye, and just want to reiterate, thank you to staff for listening to the comments, incorporating them.
And Ms. Sotelo, aye. Treasurer Ma, do we have you? Okay, so is her delegate, Mr. Starr, are you available?
Hi, I'm trying to get a hold of her right now. I'm not sure where she went.
Okay.
Are we?
So, Mr. Gunning, should we just move forward and go ahead and?
Do we have enough?
We do. We have enough to ratify Resolution 20-16. Okay.
So be it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess we can add on later if the treasurer comes back, right? Okay, moving along. I think we are going to have an update here, a legislative update from Frances about pending legislation. So Frances, the floor is yours. Tell us what's going on in that crazy building.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the board, Executive Director, CalHFA colleagues. My name is Frances Marti, and I am CalHFA's Director of Legislation and Policy. I am before the board today to inform you of a bill being considered by the legislature, AB 69, which would adversely affect CalHFA's bond covenants, our credit ratings, and as a consequence, our ability to finance affordable housing. AB 69 would create a new program in the State Treasurer's Office to offer loan guarantees for the construction of 50,000 accessory dwelling units over the next 5 years. The bill would mandate CalHFA to issue revenue bonds to finance such loan guarantees. These bonds would be paid back through an account within the California Housing Finance Fund. So the ability of an outside party to direct CalHFA to issue an unspecified amount of bonds for a non-CalHFA program violates the covenants CalHFA has made to its bondholders, specifically the state pledge and the events of default sections in our official statements, and impinges on our fiscal independence. For these reasons, we consider it also has a potential of harming CalHFA's credit ratings. As board members are aware, any effect on our credit ratings directly impacts our ability to finance affordable housing. In addition, CalHFA is not authorized to and never has issued revenue bonds as mandated in this bill. The bill does not say what the source of repayment would be for those bonds or how the bond proceeds should be used or really give any of those specifics. And we should not confuse the revenue bonds in this bill with mortgage revenue bonds, also known as MRBs, which cannot be used to fund loan guarantees and do require a SID-like loan cap allocation. So this bill was a late, what we call a gut and amend, in a very atypical legislative session marked by COVID and by impossibly tight legislative deadlines. The current amendments first appeared on July 28th, and they had some additional very minor amendments on July 30th. The bill recently passed the Senate Housing Committee and is going to be heard by the Appropriations Committee on August 17th. The bill would still need to get off the appropriation suspense file, be passed on the Senate floor, and then heard by the Assembly before it heads to the governor's desk. The legislature has until August 31st to complete all of these steps, and then the governor has until September 30th to sign or veto the bill. We have been heavily involved in conversations with the authors' offices, sponsors, committee staff, and other stakeholders to provide technical assistance in order to mitigate any risk to CalHFA. Although these issues have yet to be resolved, the governor's office will continue to review and discuss this bill, as well as a number of other housing and economic recovery bills with the legislature in the coming weeks. We are hopeful that a solution will be reached before the end of session, but if that were not possible, we may bring this item back to the board in September for your consideration. Thank you, Chairman. No action is required on this item today.
Awesome. Thank you, Frances. Melissa, I see the treasurer's back. We're going to ask her to cast a vote. We had a vote, Madam Treasurer.
I'm sorry, what was the vote?
It was unanimous. So go ahead, Melissa. I'm not going to try it. You do it. Do the resolution.
We were doing it resolution 20-16 for the authorization of delegate authority, loan approval authority to the director. And there were some modifications on that. Is that enough information?
Thank you. Yes, aye.
Thank you, Treasurer. We have you as an aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, that does item number 6. And now we get to go back. Tia, are you ready for comments? Do you want to add something or you want to say goodbye?
Oh, I'm good.
Oh, come on, nothing? No, thank you. Glad to be here another 5 years.
Thank you. I gave my special shout out for the staff. Give you an update on our bond recycling program. which we are very excited with. We are collaborating and partner with the Treasurer's Office on that. We actually have preserved and recycled our first transaction. That was on one of our mixed income program deals out of Santa Rosa, which we are very excited about, that they were able to stand in and be our guinea pig to make sure that the bond recycling program actually transactionally worked. We are also looking at filling some of our key vacancies. We have interviewed several candidates for our enterprise risk manager. We have an excellent pool. We know that was one of the positions that the board was very interested in us filling, so we're very excited about that. The 2021 session for the Capital Collaborative on Race and Equity Learning cohort will begin next week. I want to give a special shout out to Jennifer LeBeuf, who has been taking the lead and making sure that we are including that training. And lastly, the NCSHA's annual conference will be held October 27th through the 29th. And because this year's conference will be held virtually, we're hoping that we can get as many participants as we can. As you know, that brings together our industry partners for an outstanding housing conference. And if you're interested in attending that, you can contact Melissa so she can help get you signed up. And with that, Mr. Chair, I'll turn it back over to you.
Awesome, thank you. I do encourage you guys, if you haven't done one of the conferences, they're very good and they're just awesome in terms of knowledge base. So please take up Tia and the staff in terms if you do have an interest in attending, because they really help you appreciate all the dynamics of housing. All right, with that, I want to make sure everyone is aware of all the usual reports. Item number 7. Is there any matters that any other board members want to bring to the forefront?
Chair Gunning, I just wanted to let you know that Ms. Board Member Anna Marie Frias has been trying to get on. So I think she's listening, but isn't able to log on. I just wanted to let you know.
Okay. Anna Maria, hi. Or you're with us for real. I want to offer an opportunity for the members of the public, if there's any.
I'm sorry, I was raising my hand politely. Sorry for once. Chairman, if I can just say very quickly that I'm really excited that Ms. Tia Boatman-Patterson is going to be coming down to Fresno to be our keynote speaker in a couple of weeks at the graduating class of the Housing Policy Leadership Academy that LaSAR Development has been running in Fresno the last few weeks. She is a Valley girl, not the oh my God kind of Valley girl, but a Central Valley girl. So we're really happy she's going to be coming down and talking about the just what we talked about earlier that Secretary Castro Ramirez brought up, which is this issue of the disparate impact on people of color that COVID and the housing crisis has had, and is going to talk about the great things that CalHFA is doing in the Valley to help rectify that. So just wanted to give her a shout out pre-giving that presentation. No pressure on her, but she's got to do great because I'm the one really pushing for her to be the keynote.
Thank you, Preston. Okay, no pressure to you, but I feel pressure for you. That's a big delivery right there. Hey, Preston, looking pretty good. It looks like you working out there, friend.
I'm feeling good, yes.
All right. Any members of the public care to have comments? Mr. Russell, before public. Go ahead, Steve.
I need to throw out a commercial out there. We're really pleased in San Diego that we are on the ballot with a $900 million affordable housing bond for the November 3rd election. We were just assigned our letter. We are Measure A, which is where we wanted to be. We're up ballot in the local measures. So yes on Measure A is the message that we're putting out there. I'm not using this platform to sell a bond measure. I'm just describing. That is the title of it. The title of it is yes on Measure A.
Purely informational, right?
Very exciting what's happening in San Diego. It's great news.
Very exciting, right? Any members of the public want to comment or have anything to bring up?
No, we don't have anybody.
Is there a motion to adjourn? Moved by Mr. Prince. Is there a second? Mr. Russell, I saw your hand go up. It's been moved and seconded. Thanks, everyone. Great board meeting, nice and tight. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.